Hi, I'm Mark Rockwell. I'm an architect of Rockton Pricing Management, and today I want to talk to you about turning COGS into profit. So there's a difference between costs and expenses. Costs are the fees that you pay to acquire something to sell, and expenses are sometimes the charges that you pay in the process of selling things. Some examples of COGS, or cost of goods sold, include things like salaries, and overhead, and those are used or consumed in the process of trying to sell something. One of the things that's fascinating about pricing products is we usually look at the cost of a product, the cost to acquire it, and we then build up pricing from there with a general overhead or margin, and then come up with a selling price. One of the things that's really clever that I've actually learned from some of our customers is that you can turn some of your expenses into part of the cost of the item. And when you think about things that way, you basically can better guarantee higher profit margins, which is really, really helpful. An example of places where this is already happening in throughout the world is actually moving credit card fees. Credit card fees is roughly 3%. You go to a restaurant, you use a credit card, and the owner of the restaurant is typically going to use that as a cost of doing the business. But what a lot of restaurants are doing now is they're now passing that 3% fee on to you as a customer and making you pay that. That is one way of shifting an expense for the restaurant over to a cost that the customer is consuming. Now, it's a little more blatant, of course, that you're paying that 3% fee. But what if you think about your credit card fees and you just simply mark off the cost or the cost portion of when you calculate a selling price by 3%? So you basically bake in the credit card fee into the total selling price and part of the cost of what you're doing when you're building a cost plus pricing model for what you're going to sell something at. Some other places besides credit card fees are things like sales commissions. Sales commissions are typically taken as face value as a cost of goods sold or just a part of a salaries expense. But if you know how much you're going to pay in commissions to your salespeople, why not bake that into the cost of acquiring the product? And then you basically take the cost of the product, you add those credit card fees if they apply, you add your commissions, and then you add your profit margin, and then you have a selling price. That way you bake in more of what you need to cover into your total costs of those products. Some other places that are really clever though, and this one was brought to me by one of our customers, is think about payment terms discounts. It is sometimes appropriate to offer a 2% net 10 so that if one of your customers ends up paying you within 10 days of you sending them an invoice, you give them a 2% discount. Well, if you have a customer who takes advantage of that and likes to pay you early to get that 2% discount, why not mark up your prices 2% so that when they take that discount, you're not losing any more margin? I think that's incredibly clever. And it's just a different way of thinking about moving your expenses into the cost category about how you can drive more profitability across everything that you sell.